My name is Paul. I first entered the JC Hut 1974 and participated in 1 month of karate training, $16 a month at that time, and I didn't catch the wave immediately. Martial arts training takes a good while to learn your basic stances and build the coordination that you need to perform those movements skillfully. I was 8 years old at that time, so I switched over to playing soccer and Y Guys football, which is with the YMCA. I continued to play football through the 8th grade. I was a very aggressive football player when I lived in Oklahoma City. I would consider myself an average football player here in Clinton. I'm not really sure why that is. It possibly could be that down here in the South, Southern boys tend to be more athletic and just in general. So when I moved to Oklahoma City, even though I was slight built and slim, I seemed to be faster and stronger than most of my teammates, my team in Oklahoma City. So I played about 5 different positions: center, pre-safety, end, guard, and tackle. And if we were getting behind on the score, or they were getting up to evening the score with us, I was used in defense to make sure that the other team didn't score. So I entered the JC Hut in 1974, met a young man who at that time was a patrolman with the Clinton Police Department, Mr. Don Byington, and he impressed me very much. Even though I only stayed 1 month, my older brother stayed on for 2, and we got a lot out of that karate training, and my entire career began and developed from that JC Hut in Clinton. The skills I learned there, I rolled over into the fitness industry that I officially started in 1990. However, I did work at the Clinton Shotokan Center owned by John Sanford that had a weight training facility. I worked there just a few times part-time with Robert Rockroth. I have really been blessed to be in the presence of some great martial artists and some advanced weight training, high-performance athletes. I returned to Mr. Byington's class in 1979 when I decided that I was probably too slim to play varsity high school football. So that's the summer before my 9th grade year. I started training with Mr. Byington, and I was so sore for 2 months, I would lay in bed for a couple of days after that 1 hour of training. And my initial instructor for basics was David Walker, along with some other guys that were a year or 2 older than me. Fantastic training. Once I became more muscular, more coordinated, more stamina, martial arts became a total way of life for me and a dream come true, because my interest developed immediately after the death of Bruce Lee in the summer of 1973. I've been asked to talk about my experience in Thailand. I first visited Thailand in 1994. Nothing martial arts related. I returned to work in Thailand in 1996 after living in Los Angeles, California for 15 months. Starting in 1990, I became an aerobics instructor and certified in weight training, first aid, exercise safety, Cybex, Team Cybex, and I was a step aerobics instructor. I also can teach low impact. My favorites are step aerobics and boxing aerobics. In 1986, a Jacksonian, Thomas Trevitich, known as Thomas the Promise, developed a program of mixing aerobic activity with kickboxing, continuous non-stop. I believe he may have gotten that idea from Paul Trevitich, who got that idea from a man that was a professional boxer and a friend of Don's. I trained with that man also as a teenager. I cannot recall his name at this time. He was probably in his 60s when he came to Don's class to do a couple of workshops and help us improve our hands, hand speed, techniques, boxing techniques. The free sparring back in the 80s was not quite like what the point karate stuff is now, you know, because in sport point karate there's more rules and regulations, of course, for safety. And it was more like PKA type kickboxing training at that time. I started with Don in 1979. I probably started sparring in 1980. And my first sparring partner knocked me cold. Now, he did not knock me out completely, but he did give me a twilight. And he hit me really hard in the temple. He was a Cambodian refugee taken in by a school teacher here. And he and I became close friends and trained together with Mr. Byington. I remember training with Clee at least until 1983. I don't recall seeing him since 1984. Clee was incredible. Incredibly low body fat, incredibly agile, flexible, very fast, very strong for his weight, and he typically fought people like Bill Superfoot Wallace, Ray McCallum, Bill South, and Mr. Byington himself. Moving along about my career, I worked for Mississippi Baptist Healthplex from 1990 to 1995. That's where I got most of my education in fitness. And they hired me specifically because I had a martial arts background and had a degree in college, a college close by, Belhaven University. I also attended University of Southern Mississippi in 1987, where I took 17 and a half hours in exercise science. Because of problems with Meniere's syndrome and severe hearing loss, fluctuation of hearing, I decided to come back from Hattiesburg and work for a year. Then I went back to school at Belhaven. I have a degree in community health from Hines Junior College and physical education degree from Belhaven University. I had excellent instructors in all three of those universities. Everybody, excellent. Even my logic class with Mrs. Brown. In 1995, I moved to Los Angeles, California, and became a personal trainer with LA Fitness and LA Lifestyle. I worked in Pasadena and Marina del Rey as a private trainer. So I was one of those guys walking around with private trainer on my back, and I trained everything from cocktail waitresses to movie stars, film crew people, graphic designers, psychiatrists. I met a lot of interesting people in Los Angeles, California. What a great bunch of people out there. I also worked with Gold's Gym, Van Nuys, California, next to the Van Nuys Airport, where I taught what I called rhythm kick. Now, I was still certified in boxing aerobics at that time, which is box aerobics under Thomas the Promise, but this is now 1996 at the time that I was at World's Gym, so I had already changed the name to Rhythm Kick, and I use this name because of a class I took at USM called Rhythms, and it is exactly what it says it is. It teaches you rhythm through dance, traditional and cultural dances, disco-type dances, and this really helps athletes with their coordination. Brett Favre was in the class with me. He was very coordinated, good dancer, nice guy. In California, I taught aerobics at 4 different areas: Glendale, California, Van Nuys. The other 2 places escape me right now. But I was mostly a private trainer, and then I taught at least 2 kickboxing aerobic classes a week. When I moved to Thailand, July of 1996, I immediately got a job with Grand Sheraton on Sukhumvit Road. Now, for you people that have traveled to Thailand with missionary work or for business reasons, vacation, etc., Sukhumvit is the main business drag and where most of the foreigners are, the highest concentration of foreigners that are in Thailand. Now, there's about 13 million people in Bangkok. There's about 70 million people in Thailand. They're not all absolutely Thai. There's Laosians, Burmese, Cambodians, a pretty large population of Japanese. Karate in Thailand is considered a traditional art and not as sporty. So the people that are studying karate in Thailand are doing it for the traditional art reasons. And since the 1988 Olympics, pushing and promoting Taekwondo as a sport in the Olympics, of course that is a real popular sport for competition and also for general fitness. My preference is Shotokan karate for myself. When I began working in 1990, I worked in the evening, so I needed to find a martial arts facility that had daytime classes, and I found Taekwondo America, which at that time was the United States Taekwondo Alliance. And Taekwondo America developed out of the United States Taekwondo Alliance, USTA. It's a nice neighborhood, isn't it? Now, Mr. Byington, my first master and my martial arts master through the years, the most continuous training that I've had with him was from 1979 to 1984. In 1985, I joined the Hines Community College Shotokan Karate Club and trained under someone from Don Gober's group. And then at USM, University of Southern Mississippi, I joined the Shotokan Karate Club there also, and also joined the Mississippi Karate Association. If I recall correctly, I have been a member of the MKA for 2 years. It would have been 86 and 87. Now, reasons for not attending class continuously is because of employment, mostly. Where I would be working at night part-time as a young man. But I've always trained martial arts in my garage at home in Clinton using heavy bag, and I also put heavy bag on a cable where I could chase the bag for 12 feet. And I would practice katas. I really love doing Shotokan karate katas. Taekwondo patterns are okay, and it really did help me all the way around athletically. Everything that I learned in Taekwondo, I also applied to my fitness career, and I truly believe that me participating in Taekwondo training improved all of my kicks. My punches and techniques about blocking, things like that, are probably about the same. Thailand is the land of Muay Thai. That is Thai boxing. Now, it's almost an anything goes type sport. You can use your elbows and knees, and even headbutt, I believe, is still legal. You can do a spinning elbow strike. Some of the rules that are applied to American boxing are about the same, but like I say, you can use elbow strikes. Groin kicks, I'm not sure if they totally allow that, but they won't really give you a foul for a groin kick. The reason I'm bringing that up is Thai kickboxers kick each other in the legs, especially the thighs and sometimes the inner thigh. And if you've been kicked there before, even by accident while playing basketball, if somebody knees you in where your femur bone is on your thigh, gives you a Charlie horse, it's really awful. Really awful. Being kicked in the leg is really awful. Give you a real bad Charlie horse and make it difficult to stand up. Very painful. And of course, you can imagine what being struck with an elbow is like. So the Muay Thai boxers are excellent fighters in close proximity. And if you've had a chance to review the film Tam Yang Gung and Ong Bak, both of these films I casted for and was actually almost had a contract on the table. And a martial artist more muscular than me got the part of the bad guy doing the underground fighting. I really could have used that $1,000. Okay, 1996, I immediately start teaching rhythm kick, which came from Thomas the Promise's program, Box Aerobics. I still used his products, focus mitts, boxing gloves, hand wraps. Thomas the Promise products can be seen on ekickboxing.com, and his newest program is called Kickbox, which I think is also kickbox.com. Thomas the Promise is an excellent instructor and a very good martial artist and a great guy. I went on to teach at Grand Amarin Tower, where I was the manager of a fitness club there in an office building where most of my members were employees of a company's in that office building, a really large office building. Remember, when you're talking about Bangkok, the best thing I can compare it to is New York City. I've never been to New York City, but that is the closest that I can compare what the lifestyle is like in Bangkok. It's a mega city. Much different than Los Angeles, California. And much different than Boston, Massachusetts. Thai people are very proud of Muay Thai, the Thai boxing. And it is promoted heavily. Champions of Muay Thai travel the world to enter international Muay Thai competitions, and I tell you, buddy, they are hard to beat. I have done some light sparring with some professional Muay Thai boxers. They are trained so well, so intricate. Their instincts are phenomenal. Their natural athletic ability it's really something to see. I have trained a few times in the type of gyms where you go and you pay per day, approximately $5 a day to train in the gym. There's some places that are cheaper than that, closer to $1 US a day. And they love a foreigner to come work out with them. It's really a really good cultural exchange experience. Thai people can be very friendly. They really do like contact with Caucasians. However, you must keep in mind they are on the other side of the globe from the United States. So their lifestyle is much different than yours. They are deeply Asian, even though many of them are mixed race, going as far back as Portuguese and French missionaries. Chinese moved south, And that area once was the Kingdom of Siam. Burma and Thailand and Laos were once the Kingdom of Siam, and they are now the Kingdom of Thailand. A few Muay Thai professional boxers were my students in rhythm kick. They said they loved it and it improved their stamina, improved their kicking techniques, improved their speed. And the type of calisthenics that I require my students to do, they said improve their muscularity, muscular endurance, and of course for the ladies it made them slim. A Thai lady wants to be skinny. And the food in Thailand is amazing. There's just thousands and thousands of different types of dishes, different types of vegetables and herbs that they use in the food. They usually mince meat and eat smaller portions of meat. They eat more fish than Americans do. And they eat a lot of rice, especially jasmine rice. They also eat a sticky rice. You guys from the Vietnam days, you might remember khao niao. You squeeze it like this. You can dip it in some sauce if you like. Thais love to dip it in the sauce. Now something interesting, bottled water in Thailand is very inexpensive. Very cheap, if you want to use that word. And even poor people drink bottled water. They'll bathe in the public water and use it for other things and, you know, perhaps boil something with it, but most of the water consumption is bottled water, unless you live way out in the countryside and have your own artesian well. So my experience in Thailand was as a teacher mostly, and I was an actor and model. I did pursue martial arts movies and went to castings, and I was considered seriously for several roles. I have never professionally performed martial arts on film. Would love to. I'm still 47 years young. Rhythm Kick, like I say, is a 75-minute program that has the same format as an aerobic class. Warm-up, rhythmic stretching, cardio workout, floor work that includes, if you want to call it toning, this is for the ladies because I mostly train women. And my workout is just like drills in the military. And I push my class in the same way that a military officer would push his platoon, push his group through exercises. So I keep an aerobic rhythm to the music, and the music is usually set between 118 up to 136 beats per minute. On a high-level class, I can complete 1,000 punches, 700 kicks, over 200 crunches, over 100 push-ups, over 100 dips, stretches at the beginning of class and stretches at the very end of class for the final cool down, using some yoga techniques to help the flexibility around the hips especially. I've had much success in using martial arts in my fitness career. And I've also been blessed to have some really interesting students that range from Taekwondo gold medalist for Thailand to movie stars and singers from Thailand and China, and Team Toyota Japanese employees living in Thailand. I've had many nationalities in my class: Filipino, Japanese, Mexican, Armenian, Chinese, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Germans, Canadians, the whole shish kebab. I really love teaching rhythm kick. Martial arts to me is a way of life. Even if I took a break from it, I always came back around to start training again, either by myself or as a teacher or formally in a traditional class. I'm just now returning to traditional karate. I never left it behind, I just put it on hold. And like I say, when I was considered for employment at the Healthplex and Thailand as a director of spa, recreation, beauty services, including massage, hairdressing, it was a key factor that I had a karate background, that I'm a Taekwondo second degree black belt. I have a college degree in fitness, sports marketing, exercise science, community health, all those things mixed together inside my studies. And it really did help me as I was learning to manage Asian employees. Most of my employees were Thai while living in Thailand. I highly recommend to anybody that even has the slightest bit of interest to buy yourself a gi and enroll in a traditional class. It will only help anything and everything that you're involved with. And as a young man in high school, I would recommend karate classes to the football players that were perhaps having trouble with injuries due to being inflexible or their coordination not being finely tuned. All these things will improve when you take karate and or Taekwondo. Now, I passionately love Kung Fu and have trained in Qigong from a Chinese master from mainland China who also trained the Chinese Red Army. Qigong is really something special. Improves your breathing, overall stamina, and ability to focus. I'm going to say it again. I put together a program called Rhythm Kick, and its origins are from Don Byington's class, moving on to Thomas Trevithick's box aerobics, and training that I did with some of Don Byington's black belts from the 80s, Billy Briggs, known as the performer Billy Gibson of the Billy Gibson Band. He was Entertainer of the Year 2009 in Tennessee. He showed me an exercise where you perform your kicks in slow motion and have some light contact with your partner while holding each other's hand in a cross handshake. So after a while, I developed this idea to have my own program and change a few things from what I had originally learned to fit a freestyle format that I prefer myself and my students love too. Best of luck to you.